All right, Kylie, thank you. Well, the economic uncertainty brought on by COVID-19 has really escalated an all too familiar fear for those planning to attend college. How can they afford it without racking up massive student debt? Indiana-based nonprofit InvestEd has released its annual survey on the topic, and the numbers, well, they bear out those worries. 89% of Hoosiers value higher education, but a staggering 77% believe the pandemic and economic downturn have really pushed paying for it further out of reach. InvestEd Vice President of Marketing Bill Wozniak has perspective on the hot button issue of college affordability. And Bill, as always, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you.
Well, I talk, about this brand new survey just out with some numbers that I guess on the one hand you can say maybe not surprising, but they really are striking. Hoosiers value higher education, value the need for it, but that cost issue is increasingly a big concern.
Absolutely. As the pandemic has gone along, as time has gone along, almost 8 out of 10 Hoosiers that we surveyed are very concerned about the student loan debt, about the fact that the very important and necessary post-secondary education may now be further out of reach, and they don't want that to be the case.
3 in 4 Hoosiers, concerned about debt. At what point, because everyone wonders, at what point is it going to reach, is that out of reach affordability going to really impact the educational process and students and young people and others going to college?
Well, this is why there's so many paths when we talk about certificates, or we talk about community college. We talk about the real examination of the four-year institutions that a student might be considering. All these steps about trying to really find the perfect place to get that education, what is a perfect fit, and then also how to fund it in the best way possible is really one of the ways to alleviate some of these issues.
Yeah, one of the interesting results I saw in the survey, or at least I thought so, a large majority of Indiana residents, 83%, say they would prefer to pay for college using a percentage of future income if they had that option.
Absolutely. And so when we ask families about how they want to go about this, that is a question that always resonates in a very positive way. And as you know, different things like income share agreements and some of these creative ways to fund education, they're springing up. They're not all across the world, everywhere, every school, but they're springing up. And these types of creative solutions are something that's resonating with a lot of Hoosiers, a lot of families. And this is something that we think is going to continue on as the years go by.
Yeah, another finding from the survey, Bill, is that respondents believe education benefits their company, benefits their community, benefits their state. So there's that correlation. It's a big expense many times, but companies, communities, and others see value in what education brings.
When we ask the respondents what do they think about the value of this for their area, their town, their business, as you mentioned, it pulls very highly. People believe not only is it good for an individual, but it's good for the community, it's good for the business, it's good for the town, and it's good for the state. And so you can see how really in very strong numbers, people believe that this is something that's going to strengthen all the different groups.
I'm sure one of the results as we wrap up here that you were happy to see is that respondents saying they really value these free services and the access to information about education and funding education. Always been important, but it would seem to me nowadays it's critical.
When we're at the schools or we're at the different places helping families, we see the gratitude. We see how people are very thankful for the help, the information so that they can move along with this post-secondary education. But now, as you mentioned, more than ever, people want that, and we're happy to provide that.
Very interesting survey results on the value of education, and also the cost of education continues to be a hot button issue. Bill Wozniak from InvestEd, really appreciate you being with us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Gary.
All right.